The race for control of the House couldn't be tighter as Democrats work to flip the chamber in their favor. The most vulnerable are keeping a distance from Vice President Kamala Harris. So what are they campaigning on? NTD's Melina Weisskopf reports.
House Democrats only need a net gain of 4 seats to be able to flip the chamber in their favor. That means they need to hold on to the number of seats they currently have, as well as flip 4 that are currently held by Republicans. But with this year being a presidential race, the top of the ticket could influence down ballot races, making for a tough race for Democrat-controlled districts that Trump won in 2020. So what we've seen in these districts is those Democrat incumbents try to emphasize that they're an independent voice for voters. And one way that they do that is to distance themselves from not only the party leadership in Congress, but also notably from Vice President Kamala Harris. Here's one example from Alaska last night, a debate between the two House candidates.
And if it's our economy, if it's regarding guns, I'm happy to vote against my party.
Will you be voting for Kamala Harris?
It's a secret ballot, and I think both of our presidential candidates have flaws.
Peltola was the only Alaskan Democratic delegate not to vote for Vice President Harris's nomination at the DNC this year. She originally flipped this seat back in 2022 from red to blue. A similar situation we see over in Washington's 3rd district. This will be the first down ballot race for Congresswoman Perez to defend her seat, which will be a challenge considering that Trump won her district not once, but twice.
Who's to blame for the crisis taking place at the border, do you think?
Well, I mean, I've been very clear that the president should have taken more action.
She's one of 6 representatives who voted with Republicans this Congress to condemn Vice President Kamala Harris's handling of the southern border. Another on that list, Democratic Congressman Jared Golden of Maine.
Across 6 years, I voted for about $80 billion for CBP, for Border Patrol, for ICE. I stood up to the Build Back Better proposal that was President Biden's premier legislation. I said no to it.
But Golden does have experience navigating tight races. He carried that Trump won district even back in 2020 when Trump's name was at the top of the ticket. And of all these Democrats that we've mentioned, none of them have endorsed Vice President Kamala Harris. And when Democrat leadership was pressed on this, the House Democrat campaign chief responded in their defense, telling The Hill earlier this week the reason that they're all elected right now is because they have been independent, authentic voices for their districts. Reporting from Washington, D.C., Melina Weisskopf, NTD News.